Leo, this is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here with a reading for you. It's a bonus reading. It's on your finances. And I have with me here the Intuiti, here it is, the Intuiti deck, which is a tarot deck created by a group of researchers in Italy, in Milan, in a university in Milan. And their idea was to study all of the tarot decks and all of the traditions of the tarot decks and create a tarot deck that would be could be possibly used for creativity. And it's very interesting, very colorful, and there are more tarot cards than in a normal deck. And then I'll follow up with these universal tarot, the Rider-Waite tradition after that. I'll be using those two things. And I've chosen for you today, Leo, a bloodstone. And a bloodstone, why do they call it? It looks like it's blue, but there is a vein here. There's a vein, and the red vein is what gives it the name, the bloodstone. It is a heartwarming stone. It is a pulsating stone. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, we've got that. Okay, that and that. Let me show you these and then we'll read them together. I have here the 20, I'm only using the major arcana, okay, the 20 major arcana, which is the end of the world. I'll talk about that. Then there is the sun, okay, the sun, which is the same name as a normal deck, very phallic type sun. And then there is what they call the butterfly, So in terms of your finances, the end of the world, what are we looking at? When we're called, it's now is the moment when you're sort of called to judge your existence. Where am I on my soul path? What do I like where I am? It's sort of an apocalypse, a spiritual apocalypse. It's a reckoning moment. The trumpets are sounding, and it calls for you to make choices, life choices, and critically evaluate what you've done so far. And this in relation to money matters. It introduces a truth that's very difficult to accept because it means the deconstruction of our world. So this card is really asking you, calling on you to deconstruct, evaluate, and completely eradicate, modify. It reminds us, if I can make an analogy, it reminds us of take an alcoholic when they have a lucid moment, when they observe what they're doing, their situation with real judgment, and they contemplate their deep faults. This is the type of reckoning that I'm looking at. If we have the strength to stand that comparison, the limpid vision of reality becomes the door to a rebirth. It's the beginning of a resurrection to a new life. And I'm only talking, remember, about money matters, decisions made concerning money matters, your instincts, and the way that you are, the type of decisions you usually make. But this card is asking you to make decisions without fear, in a clear, mature plan, having a plan. Black on white, making a game plan. And that's where we get the roots of how to move forward. Then that's the moment when we finally understand what we want and what we don't want, and what we can and we cannot do. We're aware of our impulses, our gut reactions to things, and we can be aware of our horizons, what's in store for us out there. And we can walk with more self-assurance and passion along the way, which has always been destined to us. Okay, because Leo, this is a course correction card in terms of finance. Now we've got the sun. Now, obviously, following that end of the world with the sun card means a victory. It represents success. It represents a self-sufficient joy of living. It's the triumph of the direct and conscious thought of those who manage to solve their interior conflicts. So, even though it's about money matters, it's all about our emotions. It's all about who we are, where we're going, what are we doing. This represents the male power, and there's that phallic symbol there. It represents the male power projecting itself into the world in a way that's not disturbed, in a very quiet manner, like the warm and harmonious light of a sun that expands, wiping out all of our shadows. So with this, we are forced to see our shadow world, and this expels all of those shadows. And then we've got this lovely card. It's a great spread here with these Intuiti, the butterfly. Now, the butterfly is particular. It is particular. And I'll explain how. I had to shut my window. There was a bit too much noise. But anyway, I was saying this is a very particular card. A very particular card, the butterfly. Let me explain it like this. If we think of a madman, a crazy person, it's not a person who faces danger carelessly, but a person who's aware of the consequences and jumps, smiling, jumping into the abyss, taking that risk with a smile on their face. And in that person's eyes, you can see the energy that prepares that person to take the leap. What is that energy about? And this is related to you, Leo, and your finances, the way you face any challenges, financially speaking. It's a passionate spark in that person's eyes. Often people mistake it for insanity. They're nuts. What are they doing? But it's much, much more. It's the passion of life. It's the conviction of our what we believe in, our ideals. It is the blind and unconditioned faith in our dreams. You are about to fly, Leo, with your finances. This is what Shakespeare, or for the literary buffs out there, this is what Shakespeare talked about when he said that madness, poet, and lover have something in common. Okay, when we live our actions not as a means but as an aim, then responsibilities, fears, and other things get in the way. The whole world changes before our very eyes. Everything ceases to exist. The only thing that remains is the present, Leo, free from any deception. And we find ourselves in a condition of super consciousness that spreads the doors of infinity and the absolute. You can do anything. We become acrobats of life. We are released from any chains that we have, and we can be whoever, whenever we want. It's as if it were a game, and we can continue to burn and burn in the abyss, or we can decide to be in the sky, to fly. You are flying. It makes no difference, because you have it's a moment of grace for you, Leo. It's a moment of grace when you have the ability to play, take risks. The universe has your back. You can risk it all if you want. It's a game. It's like the pleasure. You have the pleasure to play and not get burned. All right, let's see these tarot, the Universal Tarot deck, and see what they have to say for us. All right, we've got, that abyss. There's the tower there. We've got La Luna, the moon. We've got the 5 of Wands. We've got here the 7 of Cups. We've got here the Queen of Swords. And we've got the High Priestess. The High Priestess and the moon together. Whoa. These are the background. It's like the backdrop of taking a risk. What does a risk mean? A risk financially means you don't know what the outcome is. You can make it a pondered risk. You can think about it, reason it about it, but it's It's always the unknown. Now, there is, of course, you see the Five of Wands here. The Five of Wands is never something that concerns regrets, but it's more it's more of playfulness. This is a playful, tossing around ideas. Of course, we've got both the tarot and this seven that are mirroring each other indeed. And they talk about that drunken stupor. Remember, I even mentioned the alcoholic who can see themselves very clearly. Well, this is calling on that side of you, that intoxicated side of you, Leo, to take the reins and look hard and look wide and long, knowing that the universe has your back. Now, what is interesting for me to see really is the way these interact, these cards, because mirroring each other, I have the Moon and this Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is very commanding, and she's very, very quick, very slick, very, very intelligent. She can see right through that Moon with a piercing eye because she has done her homework. She knows what she wants. And it looks like these cards, Leo, are telling you, you know what? You've got 10, let's say for an example, you've got 100. Let's say you've got 100. You've got $100 that you won with a scratch card, let's say, okay? So that for all intents and purposes, it's a lump of money that just came to you and you want to play with it, all right? That is the time when you have a bit of folly in your eyes, but it's commanded by a very reasoned sense of risk that you have. And this time, because I'm reading, this is a bonus reading, and I'm using this as August to the end of the year. This is a time, Leo, that you really can take those little bits and make a reasoned, well-pondered risk. Take a reasoned risk and go for it, go for the stars, because you can do and you can be whatever you want now. The butterfly, what does that butterfly mean? The butterfly is something that there's a metamorphosis there. They, from one animal, turn into another, completely different, and on opposite ends of the spectrum. One is dark, ugly, the other is beautiful and light. One is on the ground, and this is in the air. So, you're moving, you're flying with your... Take a risk, Leo, because you can fly. All right? So you can take a risk, Leo, because you can fly. Now, there's another thing here that I really, really like here. I do like the playfulness next to the disorientation. It's sort of childlike, and you have this tendency in this period to look at things through a childlike game or glasses, goggles in a game. Put on your gaming glasses, because here is the time when we can act as if it were a game. There is this also mirroring effect. Their closeness anyway. They do mirror each other. The Tower and the High Priestess. And I'm taking another card for that, Leo. And what do I have? It's celebration time. Come on, party time, party time, party time with your finances. It is party time, party time, party time. I mean, Leo, I couldn't get a better message for you. By far, this seems to be the best message I have. So this is wonderful. I do hope this resonates with you, and it is of help to help you towards, along with your finances until the end of the year. If you have some time on Sunday, come and join me for a Q&A. I will be answering questions to people, as many as I can within the time frame before I go crazy. And come with your questions, and I usually like to keep it one question to one person. And and that's how I act, that's how I work. Then on the 22nd, in about 10 days or so, a little less, I guess, 10 days, I'm going to be channeling Sushant Singh Rajput, who's the very young actor, dancer in India who passed away. Initially, it was written off as a suicide, but there's so much hubbub in the news now, and there's so many backstories and intrigue that it would be interesting. Come with your questions. That's on Sunday the 22nd. Right below how this resonates and what you have as your dreams concerning your money. Bye bye, Leo. Ciao. See you soon.